But you know what the best part about this order is? It says that Blanche must produce, quote, to the public, not to just Miss Fang, but to the public. And this is why I brought this lawsuit in the beginning. We needed this transparency as the American public, and we had to force the DOJ to have to do this.
Okay, so we have some pretty big news that dropped over the weekend regarding the Epstein files that I want to talk about because Todd Blanche might be backed into a corner here a little bit. He might be in a little bit of deep doo-doo. So I'll give you a little bit of the background and then I'll play the clip. As everybody knows, the Epstein Files Transparency Act was signed into law by Donald Trump under massive duress, obviously, because every single member of Congress, save for one Republican, voted that he needs to release it. And that was supposed to have happened on December 19th. He was supposed to have released it in its entirety. Obviously, that didn't happen. Trump's DOJ has been in violation of the law literally every single day. And they've been slow rolling it. They've been making redactions they weren't supposed to, doing everything in their power to make sure that this information does not get out. To date, we have about half of the Epstein files, but again, they were supposed to have released all of it. So Katie Fang, who's a journalist, actually sued Trump's Department of Justice, and here's her talking about what the judge found and what happens next. Here, take a look.
Katie Fang, private citizen, have standing to be able to get Todd Blanche as the acting attorney general of the Department of Justice to be able to comply with Judge Sullivan's order, which is now telling him that on or before July 2nd, he either has to put up or shut up. He either has to bring forth unredacted files or show cause as to why he should not or cannot do so. But I have identified, Ben, specific areas in the Epstein files. Number one, redactions that have been made to senders and recipients, names and email addresses for some of the most egregious email communications with Jeffrey Epstein, talking about little girls being naughty, things like that. Judge Sullivan says those identities have to be disclosed. Number two, the FBI interview notes for the victim who was alleged that when she was 13 years old, she was physically and sexually abused by Donald Trump. Judge Sullivan has said that Todd Blanche must produce those or show cause as to why that he should not have to do so. The foreign language documents in the Epstein Files Act that the Department of Justice didn't bother to do interpretations or translations of. Judge Sullivan said you have to produce those. The names in two internal DOJ documents that identify the co-conspirators / co-defendants that were going to be a part of that proposed indictment in the Southern District of Florida that never materialized because it was never produced or presented to the grand jury. Instead, Epstein got his sweetheart plea deal with the state authorities. Judge Sullivan says that those identities of those co-conspirators and co-defendants must be revealed. And lastly, there was the redaction log that the Epstein Files Transparency Act required the DOJ to produce contemporaneously with the rollout of these files. It was supposed to identify the grounds underneath this law as to why they were withholding or redacting certain bits of information. The DOJ wiped his ass with it, Ben, and did not produce that at all. Judge Sullivan said, you better do it and start it now. If not, there's going to be consequences. I mean, this is a big deal, Ben. This judge says I have informational harm and economic harm. But you know what the best part about this order is? It says that Blanche must produce, quote, to the public, not to just Miss Fang, but to the public. And this is why I brought this lawsuit in the beginning. We needed this transparency as the American public, and we had to force the DOJ to have to do this.
Okay, so this is massive. Like I said, obviously Trump's DOJ has been violating the law every single step of the way. And what this judge says is, one, you have to release everything. Two, you have a deadline now. It's July 2nd. Three, you're not releasing this information just to Katie Fang, a journalist. You have to release it to the public. And then also, you have to actually give a reason why these redactions were made. And as she's talking about, like, a lot of these redactions are not of victims, which is what the law required. Is like, you have to redact the names of victims to protect the identity of victims, but it specifically states that you are not allowed to make protections for perpetrators. You're not allowed to make redactions for perpetrators so that they can avoid, embarrassment or, some sort of like political repercussions. And she's talking about how there's email correspondence back and forth where the name of the recipient or the name of the sender is blacked out. And that's completely in violation of the law. So you have to explain why you're making these redactions, or you have to release everything. Now, I want to get this part out of the way first. Do I expect that Todd Blanche and Trump's DOJ is going to comply with this? Probably not. They're going to come up with some kind of excuse. But the excuse up to this point, now, because they basically washed their hands of it, they're like, we don't have anything else to release. There's nothing else that's interesting. There's nothing else that's relevant. All of the stuff that we haven't released is unrelated or it's duplicative. To which I would say, and the judge is probably going to say, well, if it's unrelated, then, there's no harm in releasing it anyway. If it's duplicative, then there's no harm in releasing it anyway. We'll just find out that it's duplicative. But with everything that we know so far, and she does make mention of, Katie Johnson, right? Which is basically, it's an alias, but this is a woman who said that when she was 13, she was abused by Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump. We know that Trump flew on Epstein's plane and he lied about it. We know that, Trump and Melania allegedly first had sex on the Lolita Express, which is Epstein's plane. We know that, Epstein basically kind of learned how to traffic people through Donald Trump and through his beauty pageants, right? We know from even before the Epstein files, Trump admitted that he walked in on girls at the beauty pageants while they were in dressing rooms, while they were half naked. And so all of the stuff that they've released so far is really, really, really bad. And despite the best efforts of the DOJ and, Kash Patel sending over 1,000 FBI agents to try and review all this information and scrub Trump and any kind of Republican from this, it still looks really bad. Imagine what they haven't released and why they're fighting so hard to not release the other half. And to that point, they've done hearings with Todd Blanche before where they the entire party it's just a pedophile protection racket. This is Todd Blanche getting questioned about why he's made so many redactions, and you'll hear the Republican, I'm forgetting his name, it's Hal something, butt in and try and cut her time so that she can't ask him the hard questions. Take a look.
You comply with the law and release all of the files.
As I said to you when we spoke before, we have complied with the law. We have reviewed.
There are 3 million more documents, and you know what you said to me? They're all duplicative, and they include another guy named Epstein.
No, I didn't
Nobody's
say
buying.
That.
That's
I did
what
not
you said.
say that.
That's what you said.
So, look.
Reclaiming my time.
Can I answer? Can I answer the question?
You may not. I just gave you the answer you gave me.
Telling.
No, actually, it's my time, Mr. Chairman. I think those are the rules of this committee. I told him the answer he gave me, and now in public he's trying to say something else. Please stop the clock. Can I get that time back? May I have 20 seconds back, Mr. Chairman? Thank you. I very much appreciate that. Mr. Blanche.
You don't want me to answer the question.
Mr. Blanche, as you know, I've visited DOJ 3 times for as much as 10 hours, and I'll be going back. Does the Epstein File Transparency Act say that the file should be available to members of Congress with a minder at DOJ where you're in a secure room, you can't write on any of the binders, you can take your own notes? Is that what the Transparency Act says?
It doesn't require we allow you to come to DOJ at all. We did that on our own.
What does it say in terms of transparency? It says that they should be made publicly available.
And they were.
Am I correct?
And
publicly available.
And they were.
Oh, well, let's talk about that.
Okay.
Time of the gentlelady has expired.
I beg your pardon. And I'd actually like to get 20 seconds back. How do I get cut off 2 minutes into this?
2 minutes and 10 seconds left.
Time of the gentlelady has expired.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Chairman.
No, that's not right.
What rules are we operating under? Because he's under a little bit of heat for not prosecuting anyone in these monstrous crimes? I've been in the room. I have been there. This is what I had to do, to transcribe, to show what is true. What is true is that the president has lied about being on Epstein's plane, and the unredacted files prove that. There's a lot in here. I'm shocked at this. There's also this set of files in the file. This is investigation into the potential co-conspirators of Jeffrey Epstein. I almost used up all the blank ink in the hallway because it's all covered up. It's all covered up.
Despite the fact that every single member of the Senate and every single member, save for one, of the House of Representatives voted to release the Epstein files, the Republicans are still panicking. They are in full protection mode for Donald Trump and any other Republican donor or politician or whoever the operative is, friend, whoever. They are trying desperately to make sure that this information does not get out. And like I said, I would love to know what the actual consequences are for Todd Blanche, because he's going to do everything in his power to make sure that this information does not get out. Because believe me, from everything that we know so far in the half that they have released, it's really, really bad. And that part has already been heavily redacted. Imagine what they're withholding and what they refuse to release. Anyway, guys, make sure if you made it this far to like the video, especially because anytime I talk about Epstein, YouTube really does not like you talking about Jeffrey Epstein. It gets deranked in the algorithm. It usually gets demonetized. So please, please, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subbed, and click the bell. That way YouTube will hopefully notify you the next time I upload another one, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.